Do you like past or future? 55% people support past and 45% people support future. Do you prefer fly or invisible? 60% people like fly and 40% people like invisible. What do you think of time or money? 55% people support time and 45% people support money. How do you enjoy hot or cold? 40% people support hot and 60% people support cold. Would you go for intelligence or strength? 65% people support intelligence and 35% people support strength. Do you like rich or famous? 40% people like famous and 60% people like rich. Do you prefer underdressed or overdressed? 40% people support overdressed and 60% people support underdressed. How do you enjoy traffic or slow internet? 65% people like traffic and 35% people like slow internet. Would you go for actor or musician? 45% people like actor and 55% people like musician. Do you prefer beach or mountains? 60% people support beach and 40% people support mountains. What do you think of smile or resting face? 45% people like resting face and 55% people like smile. How do you enjoy pizza or burgers? 40% people support burgers and 60% people support pizza. Would you go for knowledge or money? 55% people like money and 45% people like knowledge. Do you like smartest or funniest? 55% people like smartest and 45% people like funniest. Do you prefer alcohol or coffee? 50% people support alcohol and 50% people support coffee. What do you think of smile or movies? 60% people like books and 40% people like movies. How do you enjoy fire or water? 40% people support fire and 60% people support water. Would you go for chef or chauffeur? 55% people like chef and 45% people like chauffeur.
Do you prefer public transport or driving? 40% people love public transport and 60% people love driving. Would you choose romantic movie or thriller movie? 40% people like romantic movie and 60% people like thriller movie. Are you interested in pen or keyboard? 60% people support keyboard and 40% people support pen. Would you prefer sunny or rainy? 65% people like sunny and 35% people like rainy. Do you like skiing or snowboarding? 50% people like skiing and 50% people like snowboarding. Do you prefer bike or walking? 60% people love bike and 40% people love walking. Would you choose sweet drinks or water? 40% people like sweet drinks and 60% people like water. Are you interested in rainy or snowy? 50% people support snowy and 50% people support rainy. Would you prefer apartment or house? 65% people like house and 35% people like apartment. Do you like theme parks or water parks? 55% people like theme parks and 45% people like water parks. Do you prefer hot coffee or iced coffee? 60% people love hot coffee and 40% people love iced coffee. Would you choose phone or camera? 70% people like phone and 30% people like camera. Are you interested in morning or evening? 45% people support morning and 55% people support evening. Would you prefer run or gym? 65% people like gym and 35% people like run. Do you like singing or dancing? 60% people like dancing and 40% people like singing. Do you prefer sneakers or boots? 65% people love sneakers and 35% people love boots. Would you choose hats or sunglasses? 45% people like hats and 55% people like sunglasses. Are you interested in calls or messages? 50% people support calls and 50% people support messages. Do you prefer truth or lie? 70% people love truth and 30% people love lie. Would you choose space or under the sea? 55% people like space and 45% people like under the sea. Are you interested in hungry or thirsty? 60% people support hungry and 40% people support thirsty. Would you prefer city or village? 65% people like city and 35% people like village. Do you like coffee or tea? 45% people like tea and 55% people like coffee. Would you choose summer or winter? 65% people choose summer and 35% winter. Do you prefer cats or dogs? 45% people love cats and 55% people love dogs. Would you choose watching movies or reading books? 40% people like reading books and 60% people like watching movies. Are you interested in night or morning? 65% people support night and 35% people support morning. Would you prefer sweet or salty? 30% people like sweet and 70% people like salty. Do you like plane or car? 75% people like plane and 25% people like car. Do you prefer chocolate or vanilla ice cream? 60% people love chocolate and 40% people love vanilla ice cream. Would you choose TV series or movies? 65% people like TV series and 35% people like movies. Are you interested in calling or texting? 70% people love calling and 30% people love texting. Would you prefer home-cooked or fast food? 85% people like home-cooked and 15% people like fast food. Do you like podcasts or music? 65% people like music and 35% people like podcasts. Do you prefer formal or casual? 70% people love casual and 30% people love formal. Would you choose sunrise or sunset? 35% people like sunrise and 65% people like sunset.